This podcast is part of the Michigan Sports and Entertainment Podcast Network. Go to michigansportsandentertainment.com for more great podcasts.
You know who I can do without? I can do without the people in the video store.
Which ones?
All of them.
This is Massive Late Fee with Mike and Mark.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Massive Late Fee. My name is RJ, and with me as always is my co-host Rachel. How you doing, Rachel?
Not too bad. How about you?
Doing okay. So the podcast network is growing and doing good, and we talk a lot all the time on Twitter and on our Messenger app on Facebook. And we've had a good week as Massive Late Fee. It's been I have no details on that, but it has been a good week.
It's been good.
Yeah, a really good time hosting this show. I imagine Retro Late Fee is also doing well. And the weather in Michigan's been good.
Love me some Michigan.
Weather, it's...
Or just the whole state. Whatever.
Yeah.
The sports, I love the Michigan sports.
The sports in Michigan is
fantastic.
Entertaining, to say the least.
I'm a fan.
As per our network site name. And go Red Wings. Go Lions.
Go Michigan.
Go Michigan. Spartans, Wolverines.
Wolverines.
Those are all the teams I know. Oh no, and then the Pistons. Go Pistons.
Sure.
Hard Michigan Onions here. So yes. Also, you have...
Is Michiganonians a word? I don't think that's... Michiganites, maybe?
I don't know. What do you have to say?
I just wanted to say happy birthday to my cat, Gene, because April Fool's is his birthday.
Hey, go Gene. Do we know how old Gene is?
He's my cat, so I should know, but I do not.
Oh, yeah. Good job, Gene.
He's cute and gray and fat.
Another year older.
Woohoo.
Go you, buddy.
Keep on keeping on, bud.
Yep. So in the news today, what happened?
Well, it was not today.
Oh.
But in this past, I don't even know, past week, 2 weeks, whatever. So apparently Adele and Jennifer Lawrence are friends, which is weird. I don't know how they became friends or where they met or whatever, but sure, they're buddies now. And they decided to show up at a random gay bar in LA, which I'm assuming it's a pretty normal, lowly gay bar. Not like a not
ritzy, glitzy one.
Yeah, not a place that famous people go. And of course people were losing their minds and just posting all these things. And J-Law and Adele got completely wasted. Adele was doing karaoke, which of course was everyone's dream.
Yeah, except she was singing, stuff by... Dang, I don't have a good one.
Not a good joke.
I was going to say Arthur.
Arthur? What? Like the show Arthur?
The show Arthur, and then all I could think of was Magic School Bus, and I don't know why. I'm really not on my game here.
Not at all.
Mark would have had a good one.
Hey, what? You can't say that.
I mean, I would have had a good one.
Anyways, so at one point... Apparently, they got so entirely shit-faced that they fell off of their stools onto the ground, which there's many pictures of them laying on the ground laughing together. And people lost their minds, it's pretty crazy. Can you imagine being famous and being it's a great plan going into this, normal gay bar or bar in general and just hanging out with some people who are going to stare at us and take pictures of us all night long. But people thought it was super cool.
Yeah, sounds like a good time.
I thought so. There actually was one guy who tweeted about it and said straight up that his boyfriend really wanted to go to that bar that night, but he was too tired.
Oh, he's going to be so
mad
pissed
about it. Yeah.
All right. Well, what have you been watching, Rachel?
So I have been watching Queer Eye, talking about gay men, which is my favorite show.
Literally.
First off, there's only 8 episodes, which makes my heart hurt because I'm so sad. But to be honest,
not emotional trauma.
I can only watch 1 or 2 episodes at a time because they just for those of you who have not watched it, I know it just comes off as this show that's let's make you look pretty, but it's not. That's actually that's the least important part of the show. They legitimately get into these people's souls and find out like why they're not taking care of themselves or why they don't care or the problems they've had in the past or the problems they have now and what they can do to help them. And like, they like help their entire lives. And it's the most precious, cute thing ever. And they basically just tell everyone that we should all have confidence and we should all love ourselves and do our thing and forget everyone else. And it's just my favorite message of all time. And I cry in every episode.
Yeah, but yeah, exactly. So it's emotionally traumatizing
I
for you.
can't watch many. But at least it's not like consistently sad. It's like most of it's happy crying. It's not like all of life is terrible crying. It's happy crying.
I guess.
But also the other thing I wanted to talk about is I'm not going to say this proudly, but I watch Grey's Anatomy. Even though it's been out for 15 seasons, I've been a fan this whole time, which is
sad.
Again, not something to be proud of. But there was an episode this week that was amazing. It was about a woman who came in. Sorry if I'm ruining it for everyone. A woman who came in. If you haven't watched it and want to watch it, don't let me ruin it because it's really powerful and you should watch it. But she came in and the doctor Joe found her and she had like a cut on her face and she like said, "Oh, I fell down." And she ended up basically telling her that she had been sexually assaulted at a bar the night before. And they went through like the whole like of course, and then she'd had to have a surgery, of course. And so but the whole point was whenever you go into surgery, right, they have to completely sterilize your whole body. So all of the evidence of what had happened to her would be washed away. So they wanted to convince her to at least get the rape kit done. So that way, if she ever decided to press charges, it would be available and not just everything be gone. And of course she didn't want to at first. And then they talked to her about it. And then you got to like, you watched as they did the rape kit and like the pictures they took and everything like that. And then there's one part where she like doesn't want to have to see men on the way to the operation, the OR, right? And so they lined the whole hall with women and she got to like be wheeled down and all these women are just looking at her. And it was like this super powerful moment. And the coolest part is apparently the network like gave, because, you know, that's a show by Shonda Rhimes, and the network gave Shonda some notes of what they wanted her to change. Specifically like, when they did the Q-tips on her in any way, they didn't want to see any liquid, like from her mouth or like from the bloody cuts. And then also another thing is when they did the black light on her, they didn't want to see any marks. And she said, "Screw you." And she did it anyways, because she was like, we show violence every single day, and yet we can't show this. So like this was really important to her that it got completely shown the way it should have been. And I bawled harder in that than I do in Queer Eye, because it was really powerful and really cool. And I'm like, props to you, Shonda, for showing just what women have to go through after going through such a horrible experience. So yeah, not to get super serious and depressing, that's what I've been watching.
Well, there's 5 minutes of your life that you just won't ever be happy after hearing.
No, I watch a lot of sad things.
Yeah. So on a lighter note, I've been watching some Arthur. No, I'm just kidding.
I tried a much less light note. Let's talk about what you've been watching.
Oh, yeah. So I watched the Madeleine McCann Netflix thing, which...
Disappearance of Madeleine McCann. To be fair, we both watched it.
Yeah, we did. And
any art show RJ watches, basically, I watch.
Yeah, I don't watch much TV.
Usually not without me.
Yeah, at all. I'm a YouTube person. I like me some YouTube. Watch some...
BuzzFeed Unsolved.
Yeah, BuzzFeed Unsolved. I watch... the Worth It dudes where they like eat like $1 ramen, $100 ramen, $40 ramen.
Anyways.
But yeah, no. So Disappearance of Madeleine McCann. I don't really want to go into it because like mystery is the whole thing. But this little girl goes missing, and they go into it. It's pretty interesting.
Well, and I think a lot of what they talk about is more about the like what happened afterwards, and I
think they talk about like how the media runs away with things, and
also how the cops kind of
and like things get sensationalized
on things they shouldn't have.
But I really don't want to give away too much because like they really string you along episode after episode figuring this out. So like I really don't want to say much, but Very good. Well done. I like the way. So some of these miniseries from Netflix, like I can't get through them. Like what was the other one? The Keepers.
Yeah,
really
we've seriously
well
watched
done.
like 3 episodes and that's it.
We tried to power through it, but it was just they strung it out too long in my opinion. But this one I felt like was pretty well paced and stuff.
And it's really hard to watch for someone who has a 3-year-old kid.
Yeah.
It's pretty painful.
Yeah. But anyway, so check that one out. What else have I been watching?
We just have a lot of depressing stuff. Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I love that show.
Yeah,
watch
she
it all the
watches
time.
that.
It's
I don't watch
hilarious.
that
And it's
anymore.
not depressing. I mean, it has its moments, but in general, it's the best show ever. So watch it. Well,
I
watch a lot
recently
of TV.
watched Behind the Curve to laugh at flat earthers, so that was a good time.
Oh, we watched Grand Tour.
Oh, Grand Tour. Love me some Grand Tour.
Grand Tour is the best.
Yeah, them were some good times. If you, even if you don't like cars.
I honestly
Rachel doesn't
don't like cars that much. Whenever they start going into like, look at this cool car, that's when I zone out. But the banter and the
cheap car challenges.
Any challenges.
Any
Not just
challenge,
cheap
yeah.
car. Any challenge is amazing. And
So check that
the
out.
humor between those 3 guys. Also, I love British humor.
Yes.
It's my jam.
Yeah, it's good times. Oh, excited about One Punch Man season 2 coming out.
Punch Man.
I just saw Mark tweet about Barry season 2, so we need to go watch that like today.
Oh, Barry. Barry was so good.
Barry so good. I'm not Jason Bourne. Anyway, so yeah, check all that out. So that's what we've been watching. And now it's time to educate Rachel. So I wanted to educate you on The Witch, which came out in 2016.
I would like to preface this with I hate all scary movies.
So definitely spoilers, by the way, if you haven't seen it. I mean, it's been out like 3 years. I wouldn't
He's about to
recommend
give
it.
away like the entire movie. So
Yeah.
not just a little bit of spoilers. It is literally the whole synopsis.
No, yeah, literally going to give away the whole movie. So if you do want to watch it, then go ahead and tune out.
But
I guess
maybe don't.
It wouldn't come with my recommendation though. I thought it was not well done. But here we go. So in the 1630s, it's set in 1630s New England, and there is like this family. William, the dad, Catherine, the mom, a daughter, Thomason, which is a horrible name.
What?
Yeah, that's the main character. Hot lady, by the way. Anya Taylor-Joy is her name. She's a model, I think.
Don't know who that is.
Anyway, Caleb, and then 2 twins, Mercy and Jonas. And then baby Samuel. So anyway, as you may have seen in the previews to the movie, Thomason is playing Peekaboo.
Wait, I'm sorry. How old is this movie?
2016.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
Anyway, so
If anything, I
Thomason
probably looked away.
Thomason's playing Peekaboo with little baby Sam, and then she like peekaboos once, and the baby's gone, right? And he's like baby, like Cole over there, just like lifeless. And so that means
Cole is not lifeless.
well, okay, not
Rude.
mobile. So anyway, yeah. So when she looks down, baby's gone, right? And then you cut to like this weird part in the woods where a wrinkled hand is like rubbing the baby's body, and then the freaking hand stabs a baby.
What? What is this movie?
It's about a witch.
Why are you giving me the synopsis of the preview? I should have the synopsis of the movie.
This is the movie. This is how the movie starts.
This is how it starts? This is the most confusing beginning of a movie I've ever heard.
I know. It set me not at ease. Whatever the opposite of that is.
Happening.
It's a horror movie, you know?
But like normally they start with some attempt at a story, not
There is
just
a
like
story, yeah. So
I'm sitting with my baby, and then there's
William and his family left their plantation in England. But anyway, so they settle in the edge of this forest. I like to start in medias res. Excuse me.
Oh well, it's confusing.
But anyway, so stabs the baby, and then
So the baby's dead now?
yeah, baby's dead, super dead.
Cool. The best way to start a scary movie.
Yeah,
that I would want to watch is to murder babies.
Then you see like this old woman like pounding the baby's remains.
What?
And then eating the baby.
No,
Yeah.
why?
And then the woman like walks out into the woods, right? So
I've had my meal. I'm gonna
right.
go take a stroll.
Yeah, baby meal. So then Catherine, the mom, is obviously distraught following the baby disappearance. And then the family believes that a wolf took the
understandably.
baby, but like
What has
Thomason's
that
like-
girl said?
right. Well, she's like, it's impossible, right? It has to be a witch or a Satan or whatever.
Especially because back then, what was always the answer?
The witch.
Yeah, which apparently they were right.
So anyway, Caleb goes out to hunt with his dad the next day and starts to notice his sister's breasts. Wait.
What?
No, hold on.
What does that mean?
Here's what I have to say. As surprising as those words coming out of my mouth was as surprising as the scene was to the rest of us. I saw this movie with my buddy Jim, and Jim just goes, "Oh no, buddy! Oh no!"
Wait, like stare at them like
She's
likes
like,
them.
if I remember the scene correctly, like she's like kind of like bent over, and he's like staring at that cleavage, like, yeah, like all creepy.
Ew.
Well, I mean,
I
this
don't
is
like
like,
that.
it's not an okay movie, is the point. But I'm getting at.
I mean, yeah, stabbing and eating babies.
Right.
That's
But anyway, so I just love that that's in the synopsis, because the minute that sentence dropped, I was like, oh yeah, I remember that scene. That was not good. But anyway, so out in the woods, Caleb becomes fearful that Sam was taken away because the baby lived because he lived in sin. I don't know what the baby was doing to live in sin, but
did Caleb say this? Like, did he voice this? Like,
no, it's like as he's walking through the woods, like he's like all freaked out by it. I don't know. I don't remember how they did it, to be honest with you. Don't put me on the spot like this. And then I don't know if you know, but this isn't my normal show, so it's kind of
what? No, this is what we do every week. What are you talking about?
So anyway, and then Caleb is worried that he's leading a sinful life because he looked at cleavage, so that he will die. Anyway, so William,
How
the
does
dad,
a baby live a sinful life?
I don't know, comforts the son, and they keep hunting.
It's okay that you like your sister's boobs.
No, he was just
son?
saying, like, bud, whatever you're going through, you're like 10 years old, like, it'll be okay.
But like, it's not okay.
Well, he doesn't know.
Don't stare at your sister's boobs.
He didn't know.
I know, but like the dad's wrong.
Yeah, the dad is wrong. That should have been a coaching moment. Anyway, so William aims his rifle at a rabbit. Some stuff gets in his eye. He misses the rabbit because he's a terrible shot. I think that's really what they're getting at too. Like, this dude is not made to be living on the prairie.
Yeah, right.
Like,
he's no good at it.
no, he sucks. So they return home. The wife is angry, obviously. Baby gone, no rabbit. Like, this is horrible.
It's not a good week for her.
Right. Son staring at the daughter's tits. Like, it's just not a good time. This is really a rough week for them as a family unit. And then Thomason takes the blame for her father for the two of them going to hunt, because I guess they weren't supposed to go because the baby is missing. And so then Thomason was like, no, it's my fault. I don't know how. Anyway, so then...
I don't know if this movie is this confusing or if you're just bad at
no,
this.
it really is this confusing. I do distinctly remember saying that this was confusing.
Okay.
But anyway, so then Thomas and Caleb are out by the river gathering some water. And then the like little twin, who at this point has had like maybe 2 minutes worth of screen time, Mercy, comes along, is like, Thomason's a witch. And then
What?
You're the reason why Sam's gone. And then Thomason's like, oh, I'm gonna get this little turd. And so then she's like, I am a witch, I'm gonna get you, right? Which is not what you say in the 1630s, as it turns out.
No, you never say I'm a witch, ever.
Yeah, so
That's like getting on an airplane now and saying I have a bomb. You just
right,
say level.
you just don't do it.
Yeah.
So with their lack of crops beginning to turn problematic, along with all this other stuff that's happening, Thomason and
Some
Caleb
rough times.
venture into the woods to go look for like food. But anyway, so they're separated, and then Caleb disappears and comes across a small cottage, and then there's this like hot lady comes out, like, just like,
no one in the 1600s was very hot. So
come here, Caleb. Yeah, no, they were.
No, but that's how you know it's a witch.
Yeah, exactly. So then they like, she's like, come here, little boy, and then like kisses him, which is not cool as well.
What?
I know this movie was very strange. But anyway, so then Caleb is like later found outside in the rain, naked and scarred, like across his body. And then the family's like, okay, some evil stuff's going down,
Does that mean he had sex with the witch? Is that what we're trying to say?
I believe so, yes.
The 10-year-old boy had sex with the witch?
Well, or cursed or something, I don't know. But anyway, so then the two twins are definitely like, well, it's Thomason, it's her fault, she's the witch, right? And now the mom's kind of buying into it, like, yeah, definitely. Seems like it's, her fault. And then they discuss...
Because she did anything?
Huh?
Because she did anything?
Right. But
poor girl.
Anyway, so then they discuss like giving Thomason to like another family as a servant.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And Thomason hears this and is like, yeah, screw you. That's messed up. But anyway, so then Caleb is like bedridden at this point, super sick with this curse. So the family's like praying for him. But Caleb begins to like writhe and speak in prayer.
Of course
and then
he does.
like the two twins like are on the ground like writhing, like possessed as well, right? Oh yeah, Caleb speaks as though he's like accepting that he's gonna meet God, and then he like starts moaning a lot. and then dies with like a smile on his face, which is, obviously pretty creepy.
Okay.
So anyway, Thomason runs outside to cry, obviously. Which makes sense. That's what I would do. And William starts accusing her of like, you did this, and then she's like defending herself. And this is where it gets kind of real. So then Mercy.
This is where, not the baby murdering and the everything else.
Yeah. So then Mercy and Jonas are like, hey, we talk to Black Phillip sometimes. And if you're wondering who Black Phillip is, he's just this.
Black Phillip?
He's a black goat, yeah. That like lives with the
Why
other
would
goats.
you name your goat Black Phillip?
Well, he's black and they wanted the name Phillip.
But he's black, right? So you don't need to add the word black. It could just be Phillip.
Yeah, but his name's Black Phillip.
I don't like it.
So anyway, William's like, okay, you're saying she's a witch. You're saying they're making a demonic pact with the goat. Yeah, because they were like, we talked to the goat. And so she's like, they're the ones talking to Satan, right? So William's
I
like,
haven't done anything.
yeah, so William's like, okay, all you guys are going in the barn. So then he like throws them in the
don't
barn.
you wish you could just be like, kids, I'm over it, go in the barn.
Right. So then he puts them in the barn and then he goes into the house wherein Catherine is like, yo, I got something to tell you. Samuel wasn't your kid, right? It was from an affair. And so then, William's whole life is pretty shook at this point.
Poor William.
So in the barn, the kids see this like nude figure.
No, they don't.
Yes, drinking the blood of one of the goats.
Is it Voldemort?
Yeah, kind of. And then the creature like turns around and like cackles at the children, which makes them scared, obviously.
I just feel like that's a huge understatement. Like, makes them scared. Like, I would be like peeing my pants and crying and screaming.
They didn't get into if they had defecated or not.
Okay.
But anyway, so then after that happens, so Catherine like goes full insane and finds Caleb sitting in a chair holding Samuel. So she like takes Samuel and starts breastfeeding him. But in reality, there's like a crow picking at her nips. Like,
oh my gosh.
Yeah,
what?
just like going at it and like that.
Thank you for the demonstration. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. So anyway, the goats in the morning, the goats have all been slaughtered. The twins have vanished. And then Thomason emerges from the barn like, oh man, happy Tuesday, you guys. And then
what a great night I had.
Yeah, and then Black Phillip, she like walks out and is like, oh, hey, how's it going? Oh, Jesus, as Black Phillip charges at William, impales him with a horn, and then like launches him at this log pile. And then the log's like, oh,
What's
no,
happening?
hang on. Sorry, I forgot about this. So impales him with the horn. William's like, you want to go? Like he's like bleeding, right? Grabs a hatchet, it's like ready to fight. But then he realizes, oh, you know what? I kind of need those guts to live. So then he like starts to go down. And then Black Phillip like, bam, like smacks him right into the freaking wood pile. The wood all crushes the dad. Dad's dead, okay? And then Catherine comes out and is like, Thomason, this is your fault, right? And then starts choking Thomason out like, I'll kill you. And then Thomason's like, I love you, Mom. I love you. Grabs a knife, stabs her in the face.
Oh my gosh.
Starts stabbing her until she's dead.
What?
Yeah, so now everybody's dead. Twins are missing. They're dead.
Except for Thomason.
And
Black Phillip.
And Black Phillip, which is actually important. So then Thomason like quietly goes into the barn, puts on a cloak, and is like, Black Phillip, I need to talk to you. And then Black Phillip turns into freaking Sam Elliott looking character. It was what I remember, like a cowboy all dressed in black leather. And he's like super like suave and cool. In fact, he was the coolest character in the whole thing. I really liked him, actually. He was the only character I liked.
Okay.
But anyway, so he's like, Thomason, what do you want? But he's actually all cool. So he's like, Thomason, what do you want? And
I
then,
love this. Thank you for the
welcome.
voices.
And then she's like, actually she doesn't really say anything. So then he's just like, okay, you get naked and then walk into the woods with me. And so then they like start walking, and like at this point, the teenagers in the theater, I distinctly remember go, damn, she got fat ass. And I was just like laughing, right? So that was interesting. But anyway, so then, and that was probably the best part of the movie was those teenagers saying that because, it made their whole life.
Of course.
But anyway, so she's like walking and then there's like this coven of witches dancing around a fire all naked. And then you see that she like, Thomason's like, okay, I'm one of you now. And then she starts to like fly with them and they fly in over the woods.
They fly?
They fly.
They just like levitate off the ground?
Yeah.
As they're dancing?
Yeah.
Naked?
That's how it ends.
This is blowing my mind. What is this movie?
Yeah.
What?
That was a movie. I told you I didn't like it.
It's not even about like or dislike. It's just like, that is the most like...
So what people said was, and I agree with this.
What?
Well, one, it's based off of someone's journal, right? So that part made it kind of cool. Two, it's like the first half is very subtle, like very few jump scares. Like it sets up the suspense pretty well. And then like, so for some people, the second half was like paying off the setup from the first half.
Okay.
So like there are a bunch of people who were like, I didn't like how subtle the first half was, but I liked the second half. Then there were a lot of people like, I really dig the subtlety in the first half. The second half got out of hand. And then there were a bunch of people like, it was all just crap. I was one of those people, but there were very few people that were like, no, it was all good. Let's just get that out there. Very few people thought this was good.
It sounds like nonsense. Like it just sounds like...
You have to see it to understand it.
It doesn't sound fluid. It doesn't sound like it's like every...
It was not fluid in my memory.
It sounds like it's just like a bunch of like jumbled up scenes mushed together.
Correct.
Also, crazy, psycho crazy stuff.
Correct.
So like, was Thomason a witch the whole time? Or
No.
did she just become...
No.
She just said, well, everyone called me a witch. My whole family's dead, so I guess I'm a witch now?
Right.
Did she think that like otherwise Black Phillip would kill her? Like, I don't understand why she called on Black Phillip.
I think it was just like she had nothing better to do.
Like, I got time.
Yeah.
I could be a witch.
Sure. Yeah. Anyway, there's your movie.
I'm so glad I didn't watch this, but I'm really glad you told me about it.
Yeah, it's a crazy movie.
I mean, a part of me is sad I missed it just because of the ridiculousness, but most of me is glad I never have to see that those visuals in my head.
Oh, I'll tell you, there were many more laughs in that movie theater than there were.
Just like the disturbing, like watching a baby being stabbed and pounded to death and eaten.
Oh no, it was already dead.
Whatever. Its corpse pounded.
I don't know. I think they did it tastefully. I mean, if you got to murder a baby on screen. I don't remember.
And then like
we need to move
dad
on.
Being impaled. Okay. Anyways, I've
too
been
much.
educated.
Yep. So main topic today is Paranormal Activity.
One of, not the first, but one of the
found footage, quote unquote, movies.
I would say the scariest movie I ever watched under the age of 18. Like as a kid. It was the scariest movie I ever watched.
It was one of them, yeah.
For me, it was the scariest. Like
the second one was scarier, I thought.
I didn't watch that one under 18. That one came out when I was like 20.
Oh, really?
But yeah, no, it was like, I watched The Grudge, I watched The Ring. The Ring was the first one I ever watched that was like, scare the crap out of me. And then The Grudge, and then...
So for those of you who haven't seen it, there's a very quick synopsis, unlike The Witch, which needed...
It needed it.
It needed it. But anyway, so you have these two people who are a couple, and they... Micah is like a film student or something, and then he says, well, I'm going to just get this like thing, this camera.
We're going to do home videos.
Yeah, well, he was like to try to catch some paranormal activity because Katie, the girl, has been like haunted by this thing ever since she was a kid, right? So Katie's like, this is a dumb idea, I don't like it. But anyway, so he puts up the camera, they catch like objects moving and stuff, and then they call in like this psychologist who's like, I think you need a demonologist. She's been haunted by a demon.
Yeah, right.
And then Micah's like, that's real funny. So then they like keep catching weird stuff happening, and then he eventually gets like a Ouija board, and it like the planchette like moves around, and then the Ouija board like catches fire and then stops.
Yep.
And then like he puts like baby powder near like one of these doors, and there's like footsteps.
But they're like hoof prints, aren't they?
Yeah, like hoof print footsteps. And then then they're like, okay, let's
the creepiest scene to me was when she got off the bed.
Yeah.
And then she just stood there for hours
for like
watching
6 hours,
him.
like watching
and
him
it
sleep.
like fast forwards, and it's just her standing there watching him. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was not cool. And then they like get the demonologist, and the demonologist like out of town. So then they call the psychologist back. Psychologist like, I can't help you. Like, this is too much. Mm-hmm. And so then they're like, well, let's go to a hotel. And then Katie like gets possessed by the demons. Like, no, let's stay here. And then like
always, because how dare they leave the house?
And like falls for it.
Yeah.
So then Katie like randomly one night like gets up out of bed, goes downstairs, screams to make Micah come out of bed, and then you kind of hear like this like shuffling, and then Micah's dead body gets launched at the camera.
No, but remember when she was drugged first, remember? Doesn't go downstairs. You see something pull the blanket off of her, and then it grabs her leg and pulls her out, and she's like scrambling at the floor.
That's true. Yeah, so she gets like drug out of the room.
Yeah.
He brings her back.
Yes.
And then later she fakes a scream. She kills him. Comes upstairs. She has blood all over her shirt.
And she just chucks his dead body at the camera.
Yeah, chucks his dead body at the camera. She like comes and like checks on his dead body, smiles at the camera, and then like lunges at the camera, which is like one of the few jump scares there are.
Yes.
And that's the end of the movie. So Paranormal Activity. What are your thoughts, Rachel?
Okay, so first, again, hate scary movies. Hate more than anything. I don't find any amount of fun in being terrified because for me, the thing about these kind of movies is that they stick with me. It's forever. It's like
this movie literally stuck with me.
Yes, because here's the reason why. First off, the no jump scares thing. Movies that actually legitimately like freak me out on a like not just it jumps in my face and I scream, but like the idea, the whole thing that you never see the demon really freaked me out at the time. Just the fact that like it could just be anywhere at any time and it doesn't ever have to show itself is really creepy. And so that like stuck with me because then at the time I was living in a college dorm by myself.
Well,
So-
you weren't by yourself. You were
No, sorry, a college apartment where I was in a room by myself.
Yeah.
And every noise I heard could be a demon, right?
It was a demon.
It probably, maybe it was a demon. I don't know. But yeah, it was just, I think for me, because I feel like with like The Ring and with The Grudge, because those were really the first two ones that I saw. I didn't watch very many scary movies as a kid. They jump out at you like crazy. There's constant jumping and you see them and you know what they look like and that kind of stuff. And I think just the idea that there could be a demon haunting me in my house and my life that not only I can't see, but could take over my body really freaked me out.
Yeah. It was creepy. I thought it was a good movie. So the thing I liked about it was that it was subtle,
Yes.
a legitimate climax, and then it was over, right? I think that's what the other Paranormal Activities got wrong. Like, the second one was good too, I thought, and then everything else sucked.
Well, they obviously went too far, like most
they went too
places
far.
do with
But yeah, I
those.
liked the low budget feel. I liked the found footage feel. I thought it was an interesting way to take on a horror movie, and it was like Blair Witch minus the overacting.
Well, and they did the low budget feel without it actually being low budget, so it was still done
No,
well.
it was actually low budget. That was the dude's house.
It still came out as being done well.
Yeah, it seemed done well.
Yeah.
So anyway, that is our show for today. Thank you for listening. See you next week. Bye.